of the Hannah on the Road podcast. I'm Annalisa, your host for today and always. And as usual, I'm coming to you from my living room in Berlin. And it's sunny. We have beautiful, beautiful weather today. It's gorgeous outside. I'm stuck inside for work. But it's fine because I love my work. So yeah. Welcome to everyone who is checking out this podcast for the very first time. I hope you like it and that you'll come back for a little bit more. And a very, very warm welcome to everyone who has been watching for quite a while. I'm so glad that you decided to spend a little bit of time with me today. I have a packed episode, but not a lot of time, so let me preface this by saying that there won't be probably as much editing as usual. I will still try to put everything down below so that you know which patterns I'm talking about and all of that jazz, but because I am leaving for San Francisco in 3 days, time is short. So yeah, but I definitely wanted to squeeze in this podcast episode because EYF, you guys, Edinburgh Yarn Festival. So also this podcast episode today, I should probably say what this podcast is all about, right? So this is a podcast about making, primarily knitting, and running a creative business. Although there's the caveat for today, the running a creative business part will not be in this episode because I want to spend a little bit of time talking about Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and then I have a few shop things to share with you, and I thought that we would just focus on this for today and then do the creative business part the next time again. I hope you're fine with that. If you want to find me on the internet, I am Hannah on the Road on Instagram, which is also where I'm most active. And you can find me on 2 websites now. One for my project bag label and my knitwear design businesses, that is hlh-designs.com. And the second one for my coaching business, which is hannaontheroad.com. Show notes for this episode and all episodes will be on the blog on the latter website, and the direct link to them will be in the down bar below. So if you want to read up on everything that I'm talking about today, you can do so there. I feel a little bit self-conscious because my sister's here and she's downstairs and I'm not sure if she can hear me. So I'm like, I need to get into the groove of things. So what do I want to talk about first? I want to talk about the giveaway first because you guys, we hit 1,000 subscribers. And I'm very confused by YouTube because we've been hovering around the 995, 996 subscriber point for, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And then all of a sudden, last week, we were at 1,025 subscribers, and now we're at 1,043. And I'm like, where did these people come from? And holy shit. And so, you guys, 1,000 subscribers! Yay! I'm so happy about that. Which means it's time to celebrate. So I am giving away a set of my project bags, a small one and a large one, just for reference. So this is a small one, this is a large one, in 2 colors of your choice that are at that point when you're going to choose them available in my online shop. And this giveaway is open worldwide, and it is open, let's keep it open until this Sunday, which is March 25th. So let's keep it open until March 25th, midnight, Pacific Standard Time, because I'll be in San Francisco. So yeah. If you want to enter this giveaway, there are 2 things that you need to do. Number 1 is you need to subscribe or be subscribed to my YouTube channel. Number 2 is you need to leave a comment down below under this episode with one question that you want me to answer in a future episode. Because I would really, really like to do like an Ask Me Anything Q&A episode type of thing, like just a different type of video. So you can ask me really anything and everything. So, recap, in order to win, a set of your very own Hannah-Lisa Haferkamp project bags, because 1,000 subscribers, you need to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below with a question that you want to ask me, and do that until this Sunday, March 25th, midnight, San Francisco time. Sound good? Sound good. I'm excited about this. It's been quite a long time since I've done a giveaway, and I really wanna, I wanna spread the love. I have another giveaway planned for when I release my first knitwear design, but that's coming in the future. It's also a different giveaway, so yeah. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is Edinburgh Yarn Festival. And I know that quite a few might be feeling a bit like, oh, everyone's talking about EYF these days. So I completely understand if you don't want to watch this segment. I will be talking about what I've been working on at a later point in this episode. So feel free to skip ahead, but like I could not talk about it because Edinburgh was absolutely wonderful. For those of you who are maybe new to the knitting world, Edinburgh Yarn Festival happens every year in the middle of March, and it is Europe's biggest yarn festival. And it's absolutely overwhelming and amazing. This year they actually extended the entire festival so that there were things happening from Wednesday until Sunday. I think Wednesday was a workshop only day. Then they opened the marketplace on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which was a day more than the last year's. And on Sunday, they had a wonderful event called the Meet the Shepherd or Shepherdess, where they showcased local yarns and the farmers who made them. I flew in with Verena from my business partner for Making Stories on Thursday afternoon, and flight connections from Berlin are a little bit unfortunate, so you have like a flight in on Thursday afternoon and a flight out on Saturday afternoon, so that's what we did. We arrived pretty much on time in Edinburgh on Thursday, and then we took the tram to our Airbnb, which was pretty central, close to Haymarket, and that was really nice. Checked in, went to the supermarket, bought a bunch of stuff for breakfast, and then just relaxed a little bit, and then met up with the wonderful Claire Divine for a low-key dinner. Verena and me, we've been together at EYF last year, and last year was crazy because we had so many plans around the festival itself. Like we had tickets for the Kaylee and for the Knit Night, and that was just all a little bit too much. So this year we decided we wanted to have really just super low-key dinners with close friends on Thursday and Friday, and then spend all our like remaining time on the festival grounds, and that was absolutely the right choice. I really enjoyed every single second of it, and last year I felt a little bit frazzled and spread too thin, and this year it wasn't like that at all. So Thursday we had an absolutely wonderful dinner. We actually walked there. It was like a 20-25 minute walk through Edinburgh and walked back, which was absolutely beautiful. And went to bed, and then got up early on Friday, made our way to the Corn Exchange, and I had my Black Hat Podcast Lounge ticket already, so I made my way into the marketplace to deliver a few samples of Verena's designs to a couple of booths, and poor Verena had to queue outside for over an hour in the cold. Like it was really cold, like she was so freezing when she got in. It was really bad, because like tickets, I mean, if you attended EYF, you know that even the day admission tickets, they sold out like this, and she just didn't manage to get one. Yeah, and there was a sort of funny incident where she called me and she's like, I can't pay with credit card, I can only pay with cash here. And we were so sure that you'd be able to pay your day ticket also with credit card. So I went into the queue, got the credit card from her, went to the ATM, took out money, brought it back to her. By that time, they had closed the queue again, and they weren't letting people in, so she had to wait for another 20 minutes. So yeah. But Then she made it, and we made our way around the marketplace and said hello to a few people that we wanted to say hello to before we then made our way back to the Blacker Podcast Lounge for the Meet the Podcaster event at 12, which was absolutely amazing. I really loved it. I mean, it's been my first time that I was an official podcaster at any sort of event, and I really liked the setup. It was also like the physical setup, the space, I think was a lot better done than the year before, which is my only comparison. I've only been to EYF twice now. So the room where you have the podcaster lounge had a different setup in terms of tables. So it was long tables instead of these little round tables, which was really good because there was a lot more breathing room and it felt more spacious. And then they had one side of the room where there was the podcaster lounge, just with a lot of sofas and chairs, and people could hang out and take photos, and it was really good. Like, even when there were a lot of people, it didn't really feel that cramped. And on the other side of the room, they had the Blacker booth and they had the Garth and Nora booth. So it just felt really spacious, and that was really nice. And I also just loved the format of the Meet the Podcaster event because it was pretty low-key and people were just chatting and taking photos, and it was absolutely wonderful. I met quite a few of my favorite podcasters, so you guys know who you are, I think, if you are watching this, and any sort of capacity. Someone that I want to mention especially, or like there are two people that I want to mention especially, because those two, it was just like, you know, when it just clicks. The first one who I met was Maria from the Ninja Chickens podcast. It was absolutely insane because we've been messaging on Instagram, and I just felt as if we'd known each other for ages. So Maria, you're so wonderful, and I can't wait to see you again at some point in the future. And the second person is Anna from the Dunkelgrün podcast. And Anna and me would actually sort of messaged last year when we were both attending Berlin Knits and wanted to meet up, but never really figured out a good way to do that. Now we met up, and it was absolutely wonderful. It was so great to chat with you, Anna. And again, like, I hope to see you again super soon. So, and also meeting everyone else, you know, like, it's just, we're such a fabulous community, and not just the people who have podcasts, but also just the knitters who walked up and introduced themselves, people who bought my project bags, who said how much they loved them. It was absolutely wonderful. And a bit overwhelming, because last year I felt like I was pretty anonymous. This year, people looked at me and I thought they recognized me. So yeah, it was interesting, and I really liked it. What else did we do? When I say we, I mean Verena and me, because we basically just spent like the days together, also checking out the marketplace. I think we took another tour around the marketplace, met a few other people, and then had a few smaller meetings next to the podcaster lounge, and that was absolutely wonderful. I got to meet one of my coaches in person, Ellen, who's the Icelandic knitter and who's absolutely fabulous. That woman is a force of nature. I love her. It's like, Ellen, if you are by any chance watching this, there are no words to describe how amazing I thought our finally meeting in person thingy was. So yeah, I really enjoyed the Friday. It was intense, I'm not gonna lie. It was really the overwhelm of the first day, like for me, first day of EYF was there, but it was also good. So then we went home, took a little bit of a nap, freshened up, and then went out for dinner at another lovely restaurant and met up with a few friends of ours, and that was it was just really what we needed. It was good food, amazing company, in a really nice low-key spot. We actually met another knitter slash yarn dyer who came by and said hi, who was also having dinner in that restaurant, so that was really fun. Hi Federica, if you're watching. So it was just, I loved the dinner on the Friday as much as I loved the one on Thursday because, you know, I love being my own boss and I love working from home. But every once in a while, it's also just nice to meet other creative business owners, especially in the fiber space, in person and talk about things related to your business and hear about how they handle certain situations and how they got to where they are today. So that's something that I tremendously enjoyed about our wonderful dinner on Friday night. Now, it was already Saturday morning and we just took it a bit easy. Had an incident with my suitcase where I actually thought for a minute I had locked it and forgotten the code, but everything turned out well. Made our way back to the corn exchange, no queue this time, which was absolutely wonderful, and then had another few hours of meeting people and picking up a little bit more yarn, and then we had to make our way to the airport again because we were flying out that afternoon. And by the time we got home, or I got home, it was 10 p.m. here in Berlin. So yeah, 2.5 days of absolute woolly madness, goodness. It was absolutely wonderful and I can't wait for next year. Let's see, maybe I'll try and apply for the podcast launch again because I absolutely love that. But yeah, even if not, I'll for sure be back because I just love that event so much. And one thing that I thought was really interesting was when I was chatting with people who were there for the first time and who had been to, for example, Rhinebeck or other fiber festivals, everyone pointed out that Edinburgh is also so special because it leaves so much space for the social aspect, you know, and that is just something that I absolutely love. Yes, the yarns are great and I love that, but it's about the people. It's about meeting those wonderful, amazing human beings who I've met online, and that just, it made my heart sing. And when I was sitting here yesterday, I was like, it's such a refresher. Yes, it's exhausting, but it really fills up my soul. So yeah, I absolutely loved the event. Speaking of the event, there were a few changes to last year, and I honestly thought that the festival, it just gets better and better and better. So for one, there was a gigantic marquee with 500 additional seats outside, which was great. I thought it was a lot less crammed than last year and a lot more breathing space, so that was really good. Also, one thing that I just have to say, because that's by far the best thing compared to any other festival that I've ever been to, the food is amazing. The food is really good, and you have lots of vegan and gluten-free options, and it's just really healthy. It's not this like typical greasy festival food, but it's really good food, and I never had to wait for long. And the coffee is quite good as well. So yeah, that was absolutely wonderful. And at this sort of like now also, again, I have no idea if any of you is watching, but a huge thank you to Joe and Mika from, like, who are essentially Edinburgh Yarn Festival, to Louise from the Knit British podcast, and to Katie and everyone at Blacker Yarns for having me as an official podcaster. I was so thrilled when my application got accepted, and it was so wonderful to meet you in person and just be part of this. And thank you so much for the opportunity, and I hope I'll see you guys again next year. Okay, EYF wouldn't be EYF without a few additions to my stash, right? I didn't buy a whole lot, but there are a few things that I want to share with you really quickly. First up is this beautiful tote bag that I got at Isola's booth, and it says Woolen Books. Could this be more perfect for me? I don't think so. And speaking of books, that's also what I got at Isola's booth. I had come to EYF with a plan that I was going to buy a few books. There were a few things that I was especially looking for, mostly around stitch dictionaries, and that I would pick up a bit of yarn at Blacker, and then if something really special caught my eye, that I would pick up that as well. And I'm really proud to say that I stuck to my plan. So I picked up 3 books at Isolda's booth, which by the way was a shop, right? It was this gigantic, amazing booth. It was really, really cool. So the first book that I picked up is this one. It's called Folk Fashion, Understanding Homemade Clothes by Amy Twigger Holroyd. And this is something that I've been eyeing on her website for quite a while. So this is a really interesting look at sort of the movement of making your own clothes, and I can't wait to take this to San Francisco with me and read it, and then I'll report back on it. The second book is something that I had been in touch with with my tech editor, with the wonderful Amelia, because I'd asked Amelia for a few book recommendations on writing knitting patterns, and this is one of the ones that she recommended. The Beginner's Guide to Writing Knitting Patterns by Kate Atherley. I'm never sure how to pronounce her name. I think it's Atherley or Atherley. And again, I'm really, really excited to take this with me and just to learn from it, because I've done quite a lot of practical work, both in terms of making stories work and in terms of like now my own knitting patterns on patterns. But I think this will be just really interesting because it's written from a different perspective, and just I hope I'm gonna learn a lot of new things, and that will help me make even better knitting patterns. And speaking of knitting patterns, this is the third book that I picked up, 1000 Knitting Patterns book. It's a Japanese stitch dictionary, and it has literally 1,000 patterns. It's not 1,000 knitting patterns. There are also a few crochet patterns in there. And it is absolutely marvelous, and I can't wait to dive into this. That was my purchase from Isolda's booth, and that was everything that I bought on Friday. And then on Saturday, Verena and me went straight to the Blacker booth because I wanted to pick up a little something. And if you've watched my last episode, you will have seen the review that I did for the Blacker Jacob yarn, the new breed specific yarn that they're doing. And I was a little bit on the fence whether I really wanted to pick up a project quantity for a shawl. That was something that I had been pondering, because the swatch that I had done when I did my review was really meant for a shawl design. You know what kept me from doing it? I would have loved to do the shawl in one of their purple pink colorways, but those colorways are only available in the DK, which is beautiful, but it wasn't the fabric that I was going for. And I wasn't really feeling the shawl in any of the 4-ply colors. But I really, really liked the 4-ply as well. And already when I was knitting the swatch, I was thinking that this might also be good for non-nylon, non-superwash socks. So I picked up 3 skeins of the Blacker Jacob 4-ply to come up with a new sock pattern. So I have 2 50-gram balls of the pale green clay colorway, and then as a contrasting heels, cuffs and toes, I have 1 ball of the dark blue marlstone colorway. And I'm pretty sure this is gonna look pretty amazing together, don't you think? So I'm really, really excited about these. The next thing that I picked up on the Friday was something that I'd been eyeing on Saturday. I picked them up, and it was something that I've been eyeing on Friday as well. Friday, we had a wonderful, lovely chat with the wonderful Jules from Woolen Flower, who had a booth in the hallway, and she has the most incredible color palette with her naturally dyed yarns. It's insane. Like I could have bought every single color on every single base of hers. And she had 2 new ones that I hadn't seen before. One single ply that is originally produced by Garthenor, which I absolutely fell in love with, but I'm not gonna knit like a lace weight jumper at the moment. So I picked up 3 skeins of the second new base that she has. And this is, and I hope this, I'm gonna pronounce this correctly, is called Masco Fine. 100% wool from the Bizet, Blanche du Massif Central, and Noir du Velay sheep. So this is a French base that is produced by Polo et Company, a wonderful yarn company based in France. And Jules dyes these with natural dyes, and I got these 3. So this blue is dyed with indigo and cochineal. This is only with cochineal. And this one is, I've never seen anything like I've seen colors like this, but this is dyed with buckthorn and henna. Buckthorn! I had no idea you could dye with buckthorn. How amazing is this? This is a light fingering weight, so it's 200 meters on a 50 gram, and I can't wait to transform this into some sort of colorwork hat. So this is the second design project that I'll be taking with me to San Francisco, and I can't wait to dive into this. Those are all the yarn purchases that I made. And then there are 2 gifts that I wanted to share with you from 2 very special people. The first one I already mentioned, Maria from Ninja Chickens, and Maria brought me a stack of her handmade cards. Are you kidding? How beautiful are these? So if you know Maria is doing tons of eco printing, mostly on fabric and sock blanks, but also sometimes on paper. And she's transformed it into these amazing cards. Look at this. Just look, like these are ginkgo leaves, and I'm not sure what this is, but they're absolutely amazing. I just want to keep them. Oh my god, let's look at the rest of them. Oh, there's this. Look at this. And then there's 2 envelopes to go with them. I don't think I want to give them to anyone. I want to keep them to myself. Can I also just keep them, Maria? So that was the first wonderful, wonderful gift. And the second one I got on Friday night. I had been messaging with Emma from Woolly Mammoth Fibers back and forth before the festival, and we did a little swap. She got a project bag of mine, and I got 3 skeins of her hand-dyed yarns. And you're gonna see a color theme here. I can't help it. So Emma dyes yarn in Northern Ireland, where she lives and runs her business from. And she also naturally dyes them. And what I love about what she does is that she has, as far as I know, mostly non-superwash bases. And I got so excited when she agreed to do the swap. And she brought me 3 beautiful, beautiful skeins of her yarn. Oh my god. Can we talk about this? Okay, the first thing that we actually need to talk about is her logo. Look at this. Isn't that illustration the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen? So it's like 2 mammoth teeth, and then I think it's all natural plant dyes that are around it, and it's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. So Emma brought me 3 skeins of her 100% Wensleydale base. It's a fall ply, 350 meters on 100 grams, and it's a UK-based fiber, and 1 skein is in this gorgeous mustard colorway, and 2 in burnished rose. And I screamed when I opened this, because I told her which colors I liked, but just look at them together. These are going to become sweater. I already tell you, and this is going to be glorious. I've never knit with 100% Wensleydale before, and it is just, I love it. The halo and the twist, and this is going to be so cool. Also, one little thing that I really, really like about her labels is that in addition to giving you yarn weight and fiber type and colorway, she also gives you the fiber origin explicitly. So this is really something that I wish a lot more companies would do, because it just, yeah, makes it easy. Sorry guys, my camera just ran out of, well, not really storage space, but I can only record 29 minutes and something in one go, and I didn't really realize that that was already over. So what I was just saying was that I wish that a lot more companies did put explicitly on their tag where the fiber comes from, because that makes it easier for me to decide whether I want to buy from them or not. I'm absolutely in love with these colors, and I can't wait to transform them into maybe a sweater design. So Emma, thank you so much for giving these to me, for agreeing to the swap, and I really hope you love your project back as much as I love these yarns. And you guys, you have to run to Emma's shop, Woolly Mammoth Fibers, because it's gorgeous. Like every single thing that she does is just absolutely wonderful. So yay! These were my Edinburgh Yarn Festival acquisitions and gifts, and I'm just incredibly thankful that I got to go, and I hope that you enjoyed the coverage that I did a little bit, and yeah, that maybe I get to see you there next year as well. Now let's talk quickly about some works in progress, and the first one that I want to share with you is my gingerbread sweater, because that's actually grown considerable amount since we last saw each other, and now I have all sorts of tangling mess stuff happening here, but I'm gonna try and show you as best as I can. I think when we saw each other the last time, I had just probably knit until under the bust, and I already said that I loved the sweater so much. It's a pattern by Libby Johnson, and I'm knitting it in Carol Feller's Stolen Stitches Nua yarn in the colorway August Storms. And now, we have something that already looks a lot like a sweater. So let's talk about what happened. I bought this yarn at Edinburgh Yarn Festival last year, and I bought exactly 400 grams of it. And then when I did my gauge swatch, it actually turned out that I had to knit like 2 or 3 sizes bigger than I had anticipated because of my gauge difference, which isn't a huge deal. But when I was working on the body, I got really worried that I wouldn't have enough yarn to knit it to the length that was specified in the pattern. And because I don't really mind a cropped body for a sweater like this, because I wanted it to be quite with quite a lot of ease, not super oversized, but with quite a lot of ease. But I knew that I wanted to have long sleeves. I decided to put the body on hold, which is why you see tons of different needles hanging around here. This is actually, by the way, just for those of you who don't know this trick, if you are knitting a sweater in the round and you don't have a gigantic cable, you can just knit half of the stitches on a second needle, a second circular needle, if you want to try it on. So this is why I have 2 circular needles on the body here. So I decided to put the body on hold and knit the sleeves and the neckline before continuing the body, just so that I could really use up all of the yarn. So I finished one sleeve the weekend before EYF, and then I finished the other sleeve just yesterday evening. So yeah, long sleeves. You pick up stitches here around the armhole, and then do the shoulder, arm cap, you know what I mean, shaping with short rows, which I'd never done before, and it's really fun before you then knit your sweater as usual, and then it ends in this super fun cuff detail. I'm not going to talk a lot about the details of the pattern because it's a paid for pattern, but it's really good, and I really love the fit of the sleeve. And usually I have quite a lot of issues with sleeve fitting, because either the decreases stop before I want them to stop, or I don't like the cuff, and this is just perfect. One thing that I will say is that I knit the sleeves after I had completed the short rows. I knit them on my 4mm, I think it's like Haya mini circulars, which is amazing. They're hands down my favorite needles now to knit sweater sleeves with, because it makes them go by so fast, really a lot faster than Magic Loop. So this is sleeve number 2 that I finished yesterday, and yeah, I absolutely love them. What I'm gonna do next is that I'm gonna pick up the stitches for the neckline and knit the neckline, so that the only thing that I then have to do is just continue the body, how long I want to make it, and then the body is going to echo the super lovely cuff detail in its ribbing as well, and I can't wait to continue knitting on this. Gingerbread Sweater by Libby Johnson, absolutely wonderful pattern, can only highly recommend it. One thing that I also love about it, by the way, is that she gives you instructions how to do a tubular bind off, so the sewn bind off on one needle, and I never really got how to do that before, and it's so easy. It's great. And I love a pattern that just gives you all the information you need right in the pattern. So 2 thumbs up. The second work in progress that I cast on before EYF is just a plain vanilla sock that I just quickly wanted to show you. So I'm knitting this on my Chao Gu red lace needles, 2mm, and it's just a plain toe-up vanilla sock in some sock yarn from Cuckoo Yarns, and I honestly don't have the tag in here. I don't remember the colorway, but it's this beautiful blue with other blue speckles and sort of slightly green speckles. So I cast this on, and then I knit a lot on it on the way to EYF, and then completely parked it because I wanted to work on my gingerbread sweater. But there's that, another sock project on the go. So those were or are my 2 works in progress. And now I just quickly want to talk a little bit about the shop, and thank you for the wonderful warm welcome of my spring collection and the new website. I was so thrilled to hear from so many of you that you really enjoy it, both in terms of how it works and how clear it is and how clean it looks, as well as the content that's on there, because that's really what made my heart sing. Everyone who messaged me and said that you really love the transparent approach, the naturalness of the project bags that I'm going towards, and it just made me so happy. So thank you so much for all the love and all the support and all the orders. I'm gonna sew my heart out today and tomorrow and the day after, just to get everything out the door before I leave for San Francisco. Now, let's talk about a few things related to the shop that are not new colors. Those come in a little bit. The first one is that I am still looking for one more person to add to my sewing team. So I had a wonderful application, and my new freelance sewist is going to have her training day tomorrow with me, and then hopefully be up to speed very soon. But sadly, Lena, my other sewist, has decided to fully concentrate on her own business. So she makes these gorgeous little stuffed animal creatures, and this is why I'm still looking for one more person to add to our team. If you are based in or around Berlin and you would be interested in joining us, there is a link in the down bar below. You can just go to the website, scroll down to the footer and under jobs, and it will take you everything that you need to know about becoming a part of my team, which I would really love. The second thing that I want to talk about is that I am officially open for wholesale orders. So one part of changing the structure of how I work, and also changing a little bit of the pricing how I work, was that I wanted to be able to support local yarn shops with my bags as well. And I hadn't been able to do that before because frankly I just didn't have enough resources to produce all the bags. And it also just didn't work with my pricing. I now have an entire wholesale policy on my website. Again, go to hlh-designs.com, scroll down to the footer, there's a button there that says wholesale, and you can find all the information around that there. So if you are a yarn shop owner and you're curious and interested in stocking my bags, check that out. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'd be super happy to help. If you know of a yarn shop who you think might like to stock my bags, maybe forward that to them. I would be super, super grateful for that. Now on to super exciting news, because we're gonna have another shop update tomorrow, Tuesday, March 20th at 7 p.m. CET with 2 new colors and 2 pre-orders. So the 2 colors that are going to be added to the shop tomorrow, the solid ones, are this glorious, glorious dusty pink. Both of them don't have names yet, so they're going to be called something other than glorious dusty pink. But this is so fun. Like, this has such a fun texture. It's 100% wool, but it's sort of like brushed, so it almost, yeah, it's like, it's just a really interesting texture, and it has this gorgeous gray undertone, and I just love how it looks with the linen. So I'll have this in the small bag size, in the medium one, and in the large one. And I will have a very, very sophisticated gray in medium and large. So this is only medium and large because I have a very limited quantity of this fabric. So I decided to only make my 2 most popular bag sizes with this. And yeah, as I said, really, really limited, but I love how they look. Now, if you've been following me for a bit, you know that I have always sort of liked to add not only solid colors, but also prints to my shop. And I've come up with a system that I think is really going to work, or I hope is going to work well with printed bags, because one thing that didn't really work super well the last times was that I either over or underestimated demand. So I either had way too few or way too many bags, and they are so limited edition that I don't really want to have them in the shop the entire time. So what's going to happen now with the 2 bags that I show you now, and that is going to be the same for all the upcoming collections that have printed bags, I'm going to open pre-orders tomorrow, and those pre-orders will stay online for about 1.5 to 2 weeks. All the exact specifications will be in the product description, and then I will order the fabric. It will get printed just for us, and we'll make your bags and ship them out. So from now until the shipping, it can take 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how fast our supplier Spoonflower is with printing the fabric. Usually they're pretty fast, but also sometimes they just have longer lead times. So just be mindful that if you order one of these bags, it's a pre-order, and you might need to wait for a little bit longer for your bag, or like a lot longer actually, for your bag to arrive, because we first order the fabric, then make the bags, and then send it off to you. If you order one of these together with something else, that something else will also only be shipped with that other thing, right? The only exception is if you add a note when you're checking out, and then I can invoice you for additional shipping. If you, like, let's say you want to add one of these and one of the printed ones, and you would really want to have this before, just send me a note. I'll send you a PayPal invoice for additional shipping, and I ship this one out to you as soon as possible. For the spring collection, I have 2 fabrics, printed fabrics, that are going to be available for pre-order. And the first one is this gorgeous mustard geometric goodness that still doesn't have a name, but I'll make one up. And it comes in both the medium and the large, because I asked you guys on Instagram stories and you said you wanted both medium and large as pre-orders. So this is the printed fabric number 1, and this is number 2, and I absolutely love them. So again, all of these will be going into the shop tomorrow, Tuesday, March 20th at 7 p.m. CET. The pre-orders don't have a limited amount, because I'll just keep them open until in 1.5 to 2 weeks, and then I close it and I just order as much fabric as I need. Whereas the other ones, they have the limited amount that you just know. You know how it works usually. I will also say that all orders that come in after Wednesday morning, they will ship only in 2 weeks when I'm back from San Francisco. I hope that's okay with you. there's really no other way that I can do this right now because we're not yet at the capacity that anyone else other than me can take over the shipping, but I really, really hope you don't mind. And I will put that as a disclaimer everywhere so that you also know what to expect. Yeah, that is everything from me today. I really hope you enjoyed this more making centered episode. I know that there was a lot of EYF talk, but I just loved it so much, and yeah. I will be recording an episode from San Francisco, and I hope you are going to follow along with me. Also, for anyone who's like, what is she doing in San Francisco? I'm actually going to be working from there. So my partner had to temporarily relocate for a few months for work, and I am just going to be there for 2.5 weeks working from there, spending a little bit of time with him, meeting a few people. So follow along on Instagram if you're curious about that. And also, do not forget to enter the giveaway. It's open until this Sunday. If you want to win a small and a large project bag, hit the subscribe button, send me a question that you want me to answer on the podcast in a comment down below. And hitting the subscribe button or the thumbs up button would also be really, really lovely if you want to help me spread the love about this podcast, because it really just, it helps me a lot. Also makes me just very, very happy. Alrighty, lovelies. This was everything from me today. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week with lots of sun and knitting and yarny goodness. And I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Bye.